welcome back. Thanks for clicking. Today we are making a triple butter body butter. We will be using shea butter, mango butter, and cocoa butter. So it's a triple butter body butter combination. This is a very popular combination of butters to use in your whipped body butter. This formula that I'm giving you is the exact formula, like literally the exact percentages, the exact ratios that I use in my body butter business. So this is a body butter. This is like the base body butter that I use for my triple body butter in my business when I used to sell body butters. The first thing that we're going to use is cocoa butter, shea butter, and mango butter. If you're interested in seeing my step-by-step guide, then keep watching. We are going to start off by combining our butters together. So the first butter that we are starting with is our famous cocoa butter. We are using unrefined cocoa butter for this combination because this is also a cocoa butter that I would like to use for super dry skin in the winter, and for people who have, like, you know, skin problems like eczema. This is really good. So I love to use unrefined butters for this product, and it's also unscented. So it's unrefined, and so I opt for the unrefined cocoa butter so it can have a little bit of that cocoa butter scent. We'll be adding in our cocoa butter at 26%, which translates to 66 grams of our 255 grams batch. The next butter we're adding is our mango butter. Our mango butter will be added at 10%, which is equivalent to 25.5 grams for this formula. The next butter that we'll be adding is our favorite, one of the popular butters. You guys know how we love to use this butter, shea butter. We are adding shea butter at 15%, and this is at 38.27 grams in the batch. As you can tell, I added cocoa butter first, and then mango, then shea butter. I like to add my butters in layers. I go from the hardest to the softest. This is because the hardest ones, they take a bit longer to melt compared to our softer butters. So I like to put our harder butters at the bottom, then the softer one at the top. Once we have completed combining these butters together, we're gonna go ahead and add it to our stovetop or burner, whatever it is that you use to melt your butters. You like to take this opportunity to go ahead and melt those butters. While those butters are melting, we're going to go ahead and weigh out our cool down phase, which is our additives, you know, like our essential oils, fragrance, things like that. I would be adding my essential oils at 1%. So what I'll be doing is I'm not going to do 1% of each essential oil, but 1% of a combination of them. So 1% of this formula will be 3 grams essential oil. So that will translate to 1 gram each of my 3 essential oils. I'm using lavender essential oil, tea tree essential oil, and carrot seed essential oil. I'm also going to go ahead and proceed to add in my vitamin E oil at 1%. In addition to that, if you wanted to add in a colloidal oatmeal or one of your other additives that you may add to make the product less greasy or whatever it is that you need to add, this is where I would also add in my colloidal oatmeal. Now, I'm not adding colloidal oatmeal in this particular recipe because I don't have it at hand right now. But for my actual recipe that I sold, the formula, I'm going to give you that with the colloidal oatmeal. You can always take it out, substitute it, you know, do what you like with it, right? But just letting you know, this is where I would add in my colloidal oatmeal. Now that our butter combination has melted, we're going to go ahead and add in our carrier oil. For this formula, we are using avocado carrier oil, grapeseed, and fractionated coconut oil. In my original formula, I opt to use hempseed carrier oil, avocado, coconut oil, and sometimes you can swap it out and add in sweet almond oil, whichever one works for you, but that's my original recipe. Once I've added in all my carrier oils, I will go ahead and stir. I will go ahead and use my stirring rod to combine the oils and butters together as quickly and as smoothly as possible. Once I've completed combining them together, I will put them to cool down. Once I've completed combining them together, I will put it to cool down so it can thicken up just a bit, so I can whip it up to create that nice body butter texture that we love so much. It's all out and it's cooled. It's a bit cooler than I like it to be because it has cocoa butter in there, and it has a lot of cocoa butter in there. When I put that much cocoa butter in there, if you make it too cool, when you start whipping up, it's going to harden really quickly, and that's not what I want. I want to be able to whip it up while I add in my, while I'm adding in my my face be, right? I don't want it to harden up too quickly. Now I'm going to take this time to whip it together. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my handheld mixer to mix it together. Now that I've finally worked through that thick layer, it is now whipped to a nice creamy, you see that snow white color that it have? That's how you know, like it has a nice creamy white, you know, it has a little vibe for it. It has a texture. This is the texture that I'm trying to get it at before I pour it in. But before I go ahead and pour it into my jars, I'm going to clean the outer layer. So anything that's on the container, I'm going to get my scoop that off, add it into the beaker, whip it up. Once I whip that up, then I'll begin to pour it into my jar. Now that I've got that nice floppy texture that I was working towards, I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my jar. Man, this is a 9-ounce jar. I'm going to link the jar that I used below. Honestly, I got this in bulk from SKS, but I'll link it below either way so you know which one I have. Once I'm completely scooping it in, I'm going to shake it down to make sure I fill up the jar. I don't like to leave air bubbles in my jars, especially when I'm selling it. I want to get everything, like, you know, the max amount. So I like to kind of shake it a bit, hit it a bit, so everything could go down and I can add more inside of it. Look at that. That's a nice looking body butter. Yeah, I did that. Now if you're interested in making this for your business, you know, go ahead. You can duplicate, substitute, do what you need to do. But if you're just starting out and you need an early recipe, then this is something that you could use this. Also, what I want to add, the next thing I'm going to do is create a little label to put on it to kind of demonstrate to you how I'd put my label on it and what I'd put on it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a label for it and place that on my jar. If you need help creating your labels, finding the dimensions of your labels, or just anything label related for your products, I'll link below to the video that I made. I have a video that I made with a step-by-step on how to make your labels in Canva. I'll link that below. I'll also link below the video that I created that will teach you how to know the dimensions of any jar that you possibly have and might need to create a label for. I'll put them in the cards as well. You can also link to below so you can get the template for my labels. Now time for us to try it out. So as you can see, it has a nice firm texture, not too hard, not too soft. It is just a very smooth body butter texture. The percentage of each butter just combined with the carrier oil makes this a nice butter to rub on, especially in the winter time when you have like super dry skin. This is a great butter to put on. Also, when you're looking for the base for like body butters that you want to change the scent with, this is a great base to have if you want to incorporate cocoa butter. So definitely try it out and tell me what you think down below. I don't know if you guys already know, but I sell digital skincare business downloads, from thank you cards to Instagram story highlights. I do have a Print My Brain session as well, and an e-guide as well to start your own skincare business on a budget. If you're interested in that, click the link below. If you enjoyed this video, then you may enjoy one of my other videos about how to make a simple whipped body butter, or just go ahead and watch my playlist on how to start your skincare business on a budget, and a lot of other informational tips and tricks as well. Thanks again, like and share.